Welcome friends. We move on to the next topic for entrance, that is JEE and NEET. Today I will be teaching you the thermal properties of matter and that property is what? About heat. Now which topics I will be covering here? I will first talk about temperature and heat. Then there is thermal expansion, specific heat capacity and latent heat. Then we talk about calorimetry, heat transfer, radiation, black body radiation spectrum, and Newton's law of cooling. See, to begin with, I'll first go with the topic, the black body radiation. See, understand this. When a black body is heated at a certain temperature, okay, its temperature suppose is 2000 Kelvin. Example, its temperature is 2000 Kelvin. Now it will emit radiations of different wavelengths, right? Now out of the different wavelengths, if you measure the energy carried by each wavelength, the energy carrying capacity will be different, okay? And if you plot a graph of the energy carried by each wavelength, okay, energy versus wavelength, then the graph will be like a curve which is increasing and then decreasing. That means there is one certain wavelength where the heat energy carried by the wavelength will be maximum, okay, and this gives you one relation between the maximum energy carrying capacity of that particular wavelength and temperature, because with rising temperature the wavelength which carries maximum energy goes on decreasing. Do you understand? Suppose I got the wavelength which carries maximum energy for 2000. Now if I increase the temperature to 3000, then the wavelength will be of shorter value. Again, if I increase the temperature, then again the wavelength will be of further smaller value. This I will explain you properly on a board. Okay, see, look here. This is the energy distribution curve, okay, for different wavelengths. Now take example, temperature is 2000 Kelvin. The graph is like this. There is one wavelength which will be carrying maximum energy. If you increase to 3000, the graph will be like this. The curve will be like this. That means the wavelength lambda max has decreased. If you increase to 4000, the graph will be again in this fashion. Again the energy has increased, but the wavelength has decreased. And 5000 Kelvin, the curve you can see, lambda max has further decreased. Now the Wien's displacement law says that the lambda max, okay, wavelength carrying maximum energy is inversely proportional to the absolute temperature, or we get lambda max into T equal to B. B is called as Wien's constant. B is called as what? Wien's constant. Getting it? So this is a distribution curve of energy for different wavelengths in the black body spectrum. Okay, and this is our formula for Wien's displacement law. Now let us study the formulas which I will be using for these two topics. One is radiation and second is perfectly black body and Newton's law of cooling. See, first is the Wien's law, lambda m1 t1 equal to lambda m2 t2, or Wien's constant B equal to lambda m into T. Now any body will emit out heat, okay, and the rate of emission depends on certain factors. Like for a perfectly black body, it will be given by dq by dt equal to sigma A T raised to 4. A is the surface area, sigma is Stephen's constant, and T raised to T is what? Absolute temperature. But if it is an ordinary body, I will write sigma E A T raised to 4. Okay, this will be the difference between what? Perfectly black body and ordinary body, because for a perfectly black body value of E is 1, right? Now rate of loss of heat radiation. If you want to find how much heat is lost, because over there the room temperature will be given, then I will use this formula P equal to A sigma T raised to 4 minus T0 raised to 4. T raised to 4 is the body temperature, T0 is the surrounding temperature. And similarly for ordinary body, A E sigma T raised to 4 minus T0 raised to 4. Now ratio of rate of emission. Ratio, if they ask you ratio of rate of emission, then it will be E1 by E2 will be T1 raised to 4 upon T2 raised to 4. And if they mention the room temperature or surrounding temperature, I will write E1 by E2 equal to T1 raised to 4 minus T0 raised to 4 divided by T2 raised to 4 minus T0 raised to 4. Now, amount of heat gained by body or amount of heat lost by the body depends on three factors. M, the mass, C stands for specific capacity, and delta theta stands for the rise or fall in temperature. Remember this formula, MC delta theta. M is the mass, C is specific capacity, delta theta is the rise or fall in the temperature. Now any object, when a hot object is kept in cold surroundings or at room temperature, it will lose heat provided the temperature difference should be small. Then the rate of loss of heat is given by this formula, dq by dt equal to k theta dash minus theta 0, where theta dash is the average temperature which is taken. Getting it? Suppose a body cools from 40 to 60 degrees Celsius, 60 to 50 degrees Celsius, then theta dash will be 55, and theta 0 is the temperature of the surrounding and k is a constant. So these formulas I'll first use for solving numericals on Wien's displacement law and Newton's laws of cooling. We will talk about numerical 35. Okay. Now what is numerical 35 that I am reading out? See, for a red colored body, the coefficient of reflection of red color is highest, coefficient of absorption of red is highest, coefficient of transmission of red is highest, or coefficient of reflection of all the colors are same. See, any object which you see, suppose it is green color, that object is absorbing all the colors and reflecting only green color. Understood? That idea you put in your mind. So when they are talking about red color, okay, the option first will be correct. Coefficient of red color, reflection of red color is highest, and that's why what we see is only red color. Red color reaches our eyes and we see the color of the object as red. Okay. Now second numerical, it is numerical 36. If the temperature of an iron ball is slowly increased, then options are: only color of iron ball changes, wavelength remains same. Option B, radiations of longer wavelengths are emitted. Option C, radiations of shorter wavelengths are emitted. And further, there is no change in the color of ball, still the value of wavelength changes. Okay. Now here you should understand that when you heat the ball, okay, the heat energy emitted increases, and energy is directly proportional to what frequency. That means frequency will increase. Are you getting? When you raise the temperature, the frequency of the waves will increase, and frequency and wavelength are inversely proportional, and that's why the option option C will be the correct one. Radiations of shorter wavelengths are emitted. Okay, radiations of shorter wavelengths are emitted. That's 36. Now there is numerical 37, which is based on the idea of black body radiation. And what is that numerical? They have given a graph. How is the graph I am showing you? Okay, you can see four curves over here. You can see four curves. One is this curve D, one is straight line A, one is a curve B, and one is curve C. Now this is x-axis is temperature and y-axis is E lambda. Okay, so you have to judge which is the correct graph. With rise in temperature, what happens to E lambda? Now you check here. Okay, as temperature increases, value of E lambda goes on increasing. Okay, but this is not actually a straight line, it's a curve. It's a curve. It's not directly proportional. E lambda and temperature are not directly proportional, they are not linear, and it's a curve. So our correct option will be what? Here they are given question at a fixed wavelength, the E lambda versus T graph for an ideal black body is dash A, B, C or D. The correct answer is what? B. Because with rise in temperature, E lambda, value of E lambda goes on increasing. We talk about numerical 42. See, it's based on Newton's law of cooling. There is a sphere, cube and a thin circular plate. Okay, all of same material and same mass. Are initially heated at same temperature. All the three are heated at same temperature. The masses are same. Okay, made of same material. Okay, now which will cool faster and which will cool slowest? Which one will cool faster and which one will be the slowest to cool? I repeat, it's a sphere, a cube and a thin circular plate. Imagine which will have the largest surface area. Think and tell. Which will have the largest surface area? See, the sphere will have minimum surface area. A cube will have slightly larger surface area, while a thin plate, you can understand, if I hammer a cube or a sphere into a plate, its surface area will be the maximum, and amount of heat lost by body depends on the surface area. Larger the surface area, larger will be the heat lost and faster will be the cooling. And the minimum surface area is of what? Sphere. So who will be the fastest to cool? The plate will be getting cooled fastest, and the slowest one will be the one which is having the smallest surface area, and that is the sphere. So here option C will be the correct answer. The plate will cool faster and the sphere will be the slowest. Okay. Now 43, I'll read it out. A solid sphere and a hollow sphere of same material and size are heated to same temperature. A solid sphere and hollow sphere, okay, both heated at same temperature. They are made of same material. and they are allowed to cool in the same surrounding. They are allowed to cool in the same surrounding if the temperature difference between the each sphere and its surrounding is capital T. Options are: solid sphere will cool at faster rate for all values of T. Hollow sphere will cool at faster rate for all values of T. Both spheres will cool at the same rate for all values of T. Both spheres will cool at the same rate only for smaller values of T. Now, first of all, the rate of cooling is inversely proportional to mass. Larger the mass, okay, slower will be the rate of what? Cooling. Getting it? Less the mass. I take example. If you take a small amount of hot water in a bowl and in a big vessel, which will cool faster? It is clear that in the small bowl the hot water will cool faster because its mass is less. Similarly, a solid sphere is having more mass, so it will cool slower, and a hollow sphere is having less mass, so it will cool faster, because the rate of cooling is depending inversely on the mass. Now 44, a sphere at 600 Kelvin is losing heat due to radiation. At this temperature, its rate of cooling is R. The rate of cooling of the sphere at 400 Kelvin is dash. They have mentioned the rate of cooling at 600 Kelvin and they are asking you to find the rate of cooling at 400 Kelvin, and temperature of surrounding they have mentioned. Temperature of surrounding is 200 Kelvin. Okay. Now here I will make use of this formula. You have to simply find what? The rate of cooling at 400 Kelvin. See. Look at. The rate of cooling can be given by this. If you want to take a ratio of 2 rate of cooling, I can write this formula. Okay. For body at T1 equal to how much? 600 Kelvin. T1 is equal to 600 Kelvin. I can write E1, which is equal to R, equal to T1 raised to 4 minus T0 raised to 4. And for body at T2 equal to how much? 400 Kelvin. I write E2 equal to T2 raised to 4 minus T0 raised to 4. Equation 2. Okay. So E1 by E2 will be R upon E2 600 raised to 4 minus 200 raised to 4 upon 400 raised to 4 minus 200 raised to 4. Now I can write this as, look at, 6 into 10 raised to 2 raised to 4 minus 2 into 10 raised to 2 raised to 4 upon 4 into 10 raised to 2 raised to 4 minus 2 into 10 raised to 2 raised to 4. Okay. Now 10 raised to 2 raised to 4 is common. I take it out. Numerator and denominator it will get cancelled. What remains? 6 raised to 4 minus 2 raised to 4. 4 raised to 4 minus 2 raised to 4. Now 6 raised to 4 upon 2 raised to 6. 6 are 36. 36 into 36 will this is R upon E2. So E2 will be what? 4 raised to 4 minus 2 raised to 4 upon 6 raised to 4 minus 2 raised to 4. This will be 16 into 16, it is 256, right? And 256 upon 36 into 36, the answer comes out to be 3 upon 16. Okay, directly I am writing the answer. Calculation you can do on your own. That's our correct answer. Now numerical 45. Okay, a black rectangular surface of area A emits energy E per second. Okay, a rectangular surface is there. Let the area be L into B, and the energy emitted at 27 degree Celsius is given as capital E. At 27 degree Celsius, energy emitted is capital E. Okay. Now I call this as suppose E1. By formula, E1 will be sigma A T1 raised to 4. Right? Now temperature I'll write here as T1 will be what? 273 plus 27, because it should be in Kelvin. So sigma L into B into 300 raised to 4. Equation 1. Okay. This is E1, or I call it as E. Now they have mentioned, if length and breadth are reduced to 1/3 of its initial value and temperature is raised to 327, then energy emitted per second becomes dash. They are asking you to find E2 if length becomes L by 3, breadth becomes B by 3. Breadth becomes what? B by 3. So area will be L by 3 into B by 3. And temperature T2 is 327 plus 273, that is 600 Kelvin. In that case, E2 will be what? Sigma L by 3 into B by 3, correct? Into T2, that is 600 raised to 4. So I can write sigma into L into B by 9 into 600 raised to 4. Equation 2. Now divide equation 2 by 1. What I get? E2 upon E1 will be sigma L into B into 600 raised to 4 upon 9 into sigma L into B into 300 raised to 4. Right? Now L into B gets cancelled. What remains? See here, 1 by 9 into 600 by 300 raised to 4, and that is 2 raised to 4. 2 raised to 4, 16 by 9. Therefore E2 will be 16 by 9 into E1, and that will be our correct answer. Okay, that is numerical 45. If you are not able to see it clearly, please have a look at it. Okay. See, we'll talk about numerical 46. What is mentioned here? There are two ends of a metal rod are maintained at temperature 100 degrees and 110 degrees Celsius. There is a metal rod, okay, and it is maintained at temperature 100 and 110 degrees Celsius. The rate of heat flow in the rod, rate of heat flow is given 4 joule per second. Okay. If the ends are maintained at temperature 200 and 210, the rate of heat flow will be dash. Now, if the same rod is maintained at 200 and 210, then rate of flow of heat dq by dt is what? Now, first of all, the formula you remember, okay? The rate of flow of heat is directly proportional to the difference between the two ends. Theta, suppose this is theta 1, this is theta 2. Theta 2 minus theta 1. Getting it? It depends on what? The difference in the temperature between the two ends. So in the first case, I'll write dq by dt 1 equal to 110 minus 100, and in second case dq by dt 2 equal to 210 minus 200, right? If you take ratio equation 1 by equation 2, and dq by dt we know 4 joule upon dq by dt, and this is 10 upon 10, that is 1. Therefore dq by dt of 2 will be 4 joules. So answer for both the rods will be same. Rate of flow of heat will be 4 joule per second. We are talking about numerical 47, okay, and it is based on Newton's law of cooling. A pan filled with hot food cools from 94 to 86 degrees Celsius. 94 to 86 degrees Celsius in how much time? 2 minutes. Time given is 2 minutes. Okay. When room temperature is 20 degrees Celsius, theta 0 is 20 degrees Celsius. How long will it take? How long will it take to cool from 74 to 66 degree Celsius? I'll divide the problem into two parts. First, I'll talk about this time interval, 2 minutes, and temperature is 94 to 86. Now, first of all, what is d theta? 94 minus 86, and that is 8 degree Celsius. Okay. Now dt we know 2 minutes. Theta 0 is 94 and 86 average. Average is 94 plus 86 upon 2. It comes out to be 90. Okay. And K we don't know. Okay. Leave it. Now by formula I'll write 8 by 2 equal to K theta. This is theta. Theta is 90 minus theta 0. Theta 0 is 20. 90 minus 20. And that comes out to be what? 70. Right? 90 minus 20 is, so 8 by 2 equal to K into 70, or K will be 8 upon 140. Now keep it like this. Okay, I got the value of K. Now in this case, the time interval we have to find theta 0 is same 20 degrees Celsius. Now d theta will be 74 minus 66. How much is that? Again 8. Okay. K I know 8 by 140. Theta is the average temperature and that is 70 degree Celsius. Understood? I have to find dt. So again I will write in the similar manner, d theta by dt, 8 by dt equal to k into theta minus theta 0, 70 minus 20. Now 70 minus 20 is 50. Okay, so this 8 and 8 will get cancelled. 1 by dt will be 50 by 140, or dt will be 14 by 5. 5 2s are 10. Okay, point. Answer will come out to be 2.8 minutes, and which is there in our answer 47. Answer is B, 2.8 minutes. Okay, so this is our final answer. Now numerical 38, which was asked in MHCAT 2015. A black body radiates heat at temperatures T1 and T2. Okay, a black body is giving out radiations at temperature T1 and T2, and they have mentioned that T2 is greater than T1. T2 is greater than T1. The frequency corresponding to maximum energy, okay, frequency corresponding to maximum frequency I am talking, okay, is more at T1, more at T2, equal for T1 and T2, independent of T1 and T2. What do you think will be the correct answer? Just now I told you, when temperature increases, frequency will also increase, right? And T2 is greater than T1, so T2 will have what? Maximum frequency. Okay, frequency with maximum, frequency with what? Maximum energy. Okay, T2 will have frequency with maximum energy. So the option, correct option is B option. B is the correct option over there, right? Now the next, it was asked in AIPMT. Listen carefully what I am saying. I will read it out. It is numerical 39. Numerical 39. I am reading it out. Okay. On observing light from 3 different stars, there are 3 stars, P, Q and R. Okay. It is found that intensity of violet color is maximum in spectrum of P. Here, which color has got maximum intensity of maximum? Violet color is maximum in P. Intensity of green color is maximum in R. Intensity of green color is maximum in R. And the intensity of red color is maximum in the spectrum of Q. Here red color is maximum. The intensity of red color, violet color and green color. P is having violet color, having maximum intensity. Q is having red color with maximum intensity. R is having green color with maximum intensity. Now what is the question? If Tp, Tq and Tr are the respective absolute temperatures, Tp is the temperature of star P, Tq is the temperature of star Q and Tr is temperature of star R, then what is the relation between all the 3 temperatures? Whose temperature will be maximum and whose temperature will be minimum? Okay. Now for that, you understand the maximum wavelength corresponds to what? Minimum frequency. Okay. Now you understand this, that the red color has got a maximum. Red color has got what? The violet has got a smallest wavelength. Okay. Violet has got smallest wavelength, so its temperature is going to be maximum. Smallest wavelength is by Wien's displacement law. By Wien's displacement law, wavelength of violet is maximum, and wavelength of red we know is minimum. I'm sorry, wavelength of wavelength of red is maximum. Okay, wavelength of red is maximum. Maximum wavelength means minimum temperature, right? So here will be TQ, and green will be intermediate. I repeat once again. Okay, there are 3 stars, and each star is having maximum wavelength. Violet for star P, red for star Q, and green for star R. Okay. Now violet color is the minimum wavelength. You understand it? In the sequence, bigger. Okay. Violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. Violet has got the smallest wavelength, and so its temperature will be maximum. Red has got the maximum wavelength, and compared to what? Violet, and its temperature will be what? Minimum. And green, that is what? Will have intermediate. So the relation will be like this. Temperature of star P will be maximum, temperature of star Q will be minimum, and temperature of star R will be intermediate between P and Q. Okay. Now numerical 40. Hope you have understood this. See, numerical 40. I am reading out. Look in your video and you can understand it. 2 perfectly black bodies A1 and A2. Okay, made out of same material. There are 2 black bodies A1 and A2. Both are of what? Same materials. Okay. Have diameters 2 cm and 16 cm respectively. One is having diameter 2 cm and other is having diameter 6 cm. Okay. Lambda max dash and lambda max double dash are the wavelengths corresponding to their maximum radiation. Okay, for A dash it is lambda max dash, and for A2 it is lambda max double dash. Okay, these are the maximum wavelengths. Okay, now other wavelengths corresponding to their maximum radiation of energy at common temperature. At common temperature, are you understanding? Temperature of both these A1 and A2, temperature is what? Same. And according to Wien's displacement law, okay, lambda is inversely proportional to what? T, or lambda into T is constant. Since both are at same temperatures, the wavelengths will also be same. Understanding? The wavelengths do not depend on what? The diameter or surface area. They only depend on what? The temperature. So I can conclude that lambda max dash equal to lambda max double dash. This will be the correct answer. That is option C. Option C will be the correct answer. Now we'll talk about numerical 41. Now there are some calculations over here. let us see how we can solve it. Okay, now numerical 41. A black body is at temperature 5760 Kelvin. The temperature of black body is what? 5760 Kelvin. Okay. The energy radiation emitted by body at wavelength 250 nanometer is U1. Now at 250 nanometer it is U1. At wavelength 500 nanometer is U2, and that at 1000 nanometer is U3. Okay, I repeat, the temperature of the black body is 5760 Kelvin. The energy radiated by the body at wavelength 250 nanometer is U1, at wavelength 500 nanometer is U2, and 1000 nanometer is U3. Okay, and Wien's constant is given B equal to 2.8 into 10 raised to 6. 2.88 into 10 raised to 6. Okay, value of B. Which of the following is correct? They are asking you to find the correct option. Option A, B, C and D. All the options are right. First is U1 greater than U2. Second is U2 greater than U1. Third is U1 equal to 0. And last is U3 equal to 0. These are the 4 options given. You have to select the correct one. Now Wien's displacement law is lambda m into T equal to constant. Okay, so I will first find lambda m. That will be B upon T. Understanding? Lambda m will be B upon T. What is value of B? 2.88 into 10 raised to 6 upon 5760. Now if you see carefully, 288 into 2, right? If I write this as 288 into 10 raised to 4, I can write this as 20, okay? Or this becomes 100 into 10 raised to 2 upon 20, or simply 500 will be the answer. Okay, 500 nanometer. Okay. (41). It comes out to be 500 nanometer, right? Now, so value of U2 is what? 500, and U1 is what? 250. U1 is maximum. U2 is what? Maximum, right? And U1 will be less than U2. This is what? Wavelength, which carries what? Maximum energy, and that is what? 500 nm, and that is nothing but our U2, and therefore U1 will be less than U2. Getting it? You have to simply calculate this and find lambda m, and we get the relation B. B is our correct